guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kendra Michelle and I make YouTube tutorials for how to make filters basically. And today's tutorial is going to be all about contouring the face, how to accentuate the user's cheekbones and nose bridge in a very flattering way that isn't too harsh, as well as how to get like specific placement on it, which is something that you would do with makeup in real life. So if I actually get closer, I'm not wearing any face makeup. This is all done with Sparky R, and I've achieved this all on one texture. So that's exactly what I'm going to be walking you through today. But before I get started with the tutorial, I did want to talk about a brand called Dossier, and I'm so excited that they reached out to me and sent me one of their perfumes, and I can't say enough good things about it. So if you haven't heard about Dossier, Dossier reproduces classic high-end luxury scents at a fraction of the price, keeping the exact same quality by cutting all the expenses and the infamous brand tax. They have a risk-free system allowing customers to try the perfumes before committing to them. Every bottle comes with a small sample that you can try and wear before unsealing the 50 milliliter bottle. If you decide to return the scent, they offer a standard 30-day return period in which customers can return any unsealed 50 milliliter Dossier perfume and get a full refund, no questions asked. The specific scent that I got was the Floral Pear, which is inspired by Jo Malone's English Pear and Fresia cologne. And guys, it smells exact. And not only that, but this perfume lasts all day on me. And Dossier perfumes are really affordable. They start at $29, while designer scents start at $50 and go upwards to $280 in retail. They're always adding new scents, so make sure to check out their website. And I do have a code for you guys. It's KendraMichelle10. Use it at checkout to get 10% off your order. Thank you, Dossier. Okay, let's get started. So as always, the first thing you want to do is you want to launch Spark AR Studio. You want to hit create new blank project, of course, unless you're adding on to a pre-existing project, that's totally fine. You're going to either right click or click this arrow down here, add face tracker. If you right click, you would just add object face tracker. I'm going to go ahead and rename mine to face tracker. I like to keep my workspace area super clean, organized, and easy to read because you can get lost whenever you're making filters, especially depending on how much you add on. So all I did was right click on the face tracker, add object and face mesh. I'm gonna rename this face mesh to retouch because the basis of any beauty filter is adding retouch. I'm gonna go into my right hand panel right here, click add material. Material is going to show up in my asset panel. Gonna rename it retouch. And of course, I'm just saying this for people who might be new to the channel. If you already know this, then skip ahead. Gonna change it to retouching my shader type. I always unclick full screen. I don't like the way full screen looks. I feel like it dodges up the quality, and I never have this at 50. I always set it to 30. I think 50 sometimes looks like too much. Now I'm right clicking again, add object, add another face mesh. So this is where your contour would go. If you're building up a beauty filter, for me, I always do retouch, concealer, and then contour. Same process as doing makeup in real life. So, but for the sake of this, I'm going straight to contour. I'm gonna go over here, add a material, create a material. Gonna name this contour as well. Now I'm going to my shader type, and actually I'm gonna switch it to flat. And so I'll be back. So now you wanna open up Photoshop. And I'm gonna open up, whoops. Oh, that was actually what I needed. Filters, face asset. And you want to open up the face feminine JPEG. I will link the face assets download below, but it is available on the Sparky R website. Gonna click add a new layer, and whoops, here is where all the magic happens. Yay! Okay, bear with me. this is gonna be like super simple to people who do makeup in real life, who have any knowledge of makeup. But for those of you who don't, that's what I'm here for. So you actually want to pick maybe a little bit darker, kind of like a cool bronze shade. This is gonna look probably better on most skin tones. If you make it too orangey, it's gonna clash with some skin tones. So I prefer to just go with kind of a cool bronze. I'm gonna right click and size up my brush. Probably, let's do 28. 28 is okay. Make sure your hardness is at 0. And you want to make sure you toggle this butterfly up here, vertical. Hit enter. And now you basically want to contour the areas of your nose. So this is going to be my nose layer. So I'm renaming it nose. And so like you would do where the natural shadows fall on your face. So I'm kind of getting a little bit messy here. But I'll fix it, I promise. Okay, so you're kind of just gonna have to watch me, but eraser and probably 20 is okay. Hardness 0, probably actually a little bit more, maybe like 38. And maybe I'm gonna undo that, kind of going up now to 46. And I don't really want it that high, but I kind of want it to give that curve. So you want to make sure your line is very thin. Kind of like that. And here, like blend that out. Okay, once it comes to this area right here, I'm gonna drag it down. Whoops. Undo that. I'm gonna actually lower this to 22. Kind of drag it more down. And once you get to like, this is where the natural highlight or any light would hit a nose, I'm kind of gonna do like a little bump, kind of outline that circle almost. And I'm gonna close that off there, and I'm gonna close this off here. And then I'm gonna go back in with my eraser tool and kind of thin this out even more. And gonna make this a little bit smaller. And it's literally kind of like how you do your makeup. And making this a little bit smaller. And then I'm gonna take this and kind of color in a triangle. So when you do your contour, you put contour underneath your nose tip to kind of push out your nose tip to give it a lifted illusion. Same thing applies here. And I'm actually gonna feather it out that way, but then I'm gonna clean it up. I just want to be really precise about where I'm putting things. I'm gonna undo my symmetry. And I'm going to lower this side more than this side. Still don't want it that high up, but this side will definitely be a little lower. And I'm gonna click free transform, and I'm actually gonna hold down shift and squeeze it in a little bit, make it a little bit more narrow, and move it back into place so that it kind of rests inside the lines instead of outside, which is kind of like how we were doing it. And then the next thing that I'm gonna do, I'm still not happy about these lines, hold on. This is where it kind of gets tedious, and it really depends on you. Symmetry off. Wow. Okay, so right now it doesn't look the best, but I promise it's gonna look better. Then I'm gonna do cheekbones. And this is kind of like how I've shown this before. Oops. This, you want to turn on your symmetry back on for this. It's gonna rest right here. Right like that. You want to take your brush and put it like bigger. You're just kind of carving out the cheekbone. Kind of like this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to blur, Gaussian blur. Make sure previous checked so you can kind of see it here. And I think at 20 it looks good. So yeah, now it's more feathered out, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing for my nose. So you go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, sorry. And you see what I mean? Now it's giving the nose more narrow look, more kind of put together, whereas here kind of looks bad. Kind of looks big, not really doing much. But once you feather it out, it is like blending out with a makeup brush. I think I'm gonna leave it at 6. That looks great. I'm gonna put my nose layer on top of my cheek layer, and then I'm gonna add in one more layer because you wanna add depth underneath the eyes. So taking the same color, but the color, I'm gonna make it a little bit warmer under the eyes because you don't want it to be as dark as the face. And you almost want it to meet here. So of course you don't want to put it in the actual like eye. You just kind of want it to float. So yeah, you want it to look a little bit like that. You want to do blur, again, Gaussian blur, and kind of want to, I think like a 12 is good for here. So it's going to look like this. And that is basically it. So now we're just going to switch off the symmetry. File, export, quick export as PNG, and you can export this, name it whatever you like, and then you want to go back to Sparky R, choose file, and it's gonna import it like this, and it's gonna look way too harsh. And I'm actually gonna go and set that to multiply, which is gonna make it look harsher, but this is gonna blend into skin tones a lot better. You just wanna lower the opacity. Typically, I set mine to 22. Oh, and I did forget to add the nose highlight, so hold on. Let me go back. Actually, we can do this on a different layer, so go back in there. I'm gonna hide these and add a new layer for nose highlight. I've done a nose highlight a bunch of times on my channel, so I'm just gonna speed through this really quickly. Oops. And I'm just adding a black layer so that I can really see what I'm doing here. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to merge those together and then continue with this. And same process of filter, blur, Gaussian blur, just obviously not that much. Probably like a 2.8 is good. Oops. And this is what it looks like on its own. All right, 1 second. I feel like it can be a little bit thinner because yes. There we go. Perfect. And then again, file, export, quick export, and then highlight. Go back into Spark AR, create a new face mesh, highlight, new material, highlight, physically based, metallic 100, and I will keep this 22, choose. So there it is. You just want to make sure to change your alpha blend mode to add, and I'm gonna unclick my advanced render options and lower this to like 20. And I'm gonna go ahead and send this to my phone. Oops, what is this? Yep. Gonna go ahead and send this off to my phone, and I'll check with you guys in just a moment. And so it looks great. Contour looks really good. You can always play around with the opacity of your contour depending on what you're comfortable with. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any tutorial recommendations. I finally have a laptop, so I'm definitely going to be working on putting out more filters, putting out more tutorials, not only on Spark AR but Lens Studio as well. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know what you want. I'm gonna provide some free assets, gonna update my Gumroad. Just really happy to have a computer again. And yeah, let me know what else you guys want to see. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Dossier for the perfume. And don't forget to comment and subscribe. Bye guys. Thank you so much.